Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
A Friday night house party. The Canadians rocking and rolling. Hi again, sports fans. Colleen is getting ready. She was at the opening ceremony late last night and firing up in Beijing. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever this finds you. And there she is. Good morning, Paul.
Thank you for waking me up. I appreciate it. Because look where I was last night.
Well, you had the golden ticket to the opening ceremony. How was it, Col?
It's actually pink.
Oh,
okay. It's pink. It was so different, I thought.
Right.
I mean, you were watching it too. A lot of light show action. Big, different. There was no like big roar of the stadium to me.
Sure.
But there were fireworks. The flame came in. It's here.
And the games are underway. What a start with the show tonight, the rockin' and rollin' music, and what a difference a day makes, Call. The Canadians, Rachel Homan and Johnny Morris, on a roll now. Don't they look good?
They do look good. By the way, can we just say one more comment about the opening ceremonies?
Oh, sure.
I do have a whiteboard, Dev, just for you.
You were ready.
Four flag bearers that were curlers last night. Schuster, Madeline DuPont, Eve Muirhead, and Kristen Skaslian from Norway. 4. Count them.
And we still have yet to have a Canadian flag bearer. That might change. Depending on how these Olympics go. And Johnny and Rachel making a push, aren't they?
They look great now. I mean, they look great. And I thought they didn't look that bad in the first game, even though John kept saying, I'm not playing well and all that sort of stuff. But now they're firing on all cylinders. Like their communication is so good and direct. Right. We joked about that the other day, how it was like, stop, Rachel. But now it is exactly that. It's them saying things like, it's going to hit this rock, right? And sometimes if John is sweeping or Rachel's sweeping, they think they know the line, but they might not know something else. So this extra value-added information, so direct, so good, so positive. I love it.
Yeah, and I know Canadians from coast to coast to coast are loving it as well. Hello to everyone across Canada and around the world. And hello to Joanne Courtney. Let's go to the booth from the Scotties into the booth. The gang's all here. Hi, everyone. Let's start with Joanne. Joanne, welcome to the club. Welcome to the party. Waving across the way. How are you, Joanne?
I'm great. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, settling into my cubby with my neighbor Mike, and can't wait to take the action tonight.
Outstanding. Bruce, here we go. Another big game, Canada versus Sweden at 1 a.m. as Mike gives us every angle. You're a little further.
We got rid of Bruce. He's way over there now.
Oh, Bruce, how are you feeling over there in isolation, and what are you looking forward to tonight? Oh, we can't hear you, Bruce.
Finally.
We'll go to Mike.
There we go.
Mike's always ready.
Bruce is trying to work a microphone. Another 20 years in broadcasting and have this sorted out, I think. But we're looking forward to it. Nice to have Joanne here with us, and obviously she'll have some what she's willing to share with inside scoops with her skipper, Rachel, and of course Canadian mixed doubles champion over here beside me as well. So she's got a lot to offer, and we're looking forward to the game tonight.
Not only that, her push-up challenge. Did you see it on the Twitter? Like,
I've only heard about it. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I
tried. Want to see it from Mike. Is what we want to see it from Mike. Is what we want to see. So
nobody needs to see that.
Joanne, why do you think the communication between Johnny and Rachel has improved so drastically? Do you think that sort of thing just takes a couple of games? Did you notice that, for example, when you were playing with Reid Carruthers?
I do think it takes some time to figure out how best to manage the conditions, manage the moment, manage the play. Communication is actually something that they've had flagged even before this event. I remember hearing them talking in Banff at the Qualico event that they played in the fall, asking Scott Pfeiffer to listen in and meet with them afterwards and try to work some stuff out. So I think this has been kind of on the top of the agenda for them for a while. And it's amazing to see how fast they're ironing out the kinks, especially under the pressure. Those are the moments when you're going to revert back to your old habits, and you're not going to change and get into this growth mindset necessarily. But I'm loving what I'm seeing as the rocks are coming down the sheet, especially in the China game last night. It's so calm. You're on the good line, okay? And it's just kind of this Marco Polo back and forth, and they're doing a really good job of it. And then there's, of course, the odd time where, like, John has to stop sweeping, or there's the odd time where John's yelling at Rachel, call the line, please, and they're going to figure it out.
Joanne, we've been talking about this look Rachel gets, Eye of the Tiger, and you have settled beside her for so many huge shots throughout her journey and throughout your journey together. Is there something you're seeing in Rachel's game right now that tells you she's on a different level, because she has been outstanding so far?
Yeah, the cool thing I'm seeing right now is she's not going to sit in the hack until she's committed to exactly how she thinks she has to throw it and exactly where she needs to aim. There was an out-turn draw against the Swiss yesterday where they hadn't decided. John saying, well, whatever you want in the hack, doesn't matter. And she took the extra time, and you saw her buy in and invest, and she made a beautiful draw. So once Rachel's dialed in like that, it's such a cool thing to watch, because there's no doubt in her mind as to how she has to throw it, and nothing's going to get in the way of that. Like, as somebody mentioned, there could be an elephant in the room and she wouldn't notice, and that's 100% what I'm seeing right now.
Awesome.
That was me that mentioned that. Listen, how much did you miss her at the Scotties?
Yeah, we missed her for sure, but it was a really cool experience nonetheless to see Emma step up and take on the pressure of the role of skip, and to see her and her leadership kind of flourish and make sure that we had a great experience. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, you're going to miss having your teammate of 8 years with you there, but we still had a great time. We were so grateful we got to compete. And anytime you're kind of in the mix at a Scotties, it's a really special thing. So no complaints here, and I'm happy I'm here with you guys now too.
Nice. Mike, what about Italy? Let me get a whiteboard for you.
Great mind.
I just woke up 5 minutes ago, you guys. I was at the opening ceremonies and on the bus leaving the opening ceremonies I can't even describe the lineup. Then we got on a bus, and there were like 150 people on the bus. We were all like this, and somebody from Russia said, there is no Omicron here. It was a fun night. But anyhow, a little tired. I have the standing boards. Mike, Italy, 4-0.
Right. Amos Molzaner and Stefania Constantini, both excellent players. I was so impressed with Amos at the European Championship. They won a bronze medal for Italy at the Europeans, and then they had to go into the Olympic qualifying event, and they just played fantastic the whole way through. They were dominant in the OQE, looked basically unflappable, and him throwing 90, mid-high 90s all week long at the Europeans was so impressive. And his partner Constantini, she's got lots of experience as well, and they've earned it, and they're not just winning games, they're blowing teams off the ice. So they look very, very strong, and I think they're for real, people. So yeah.
Well, listen, you guys have a broadcast to do. Tell Bruce this is the first time we've silenced him. Where is he? Is he there? Is he alive?
He is there, and he's pretending to ignore us over there, which is fine.
Okay.
But we know we're starting with Switzerland and Sweden, and that'll be on CBC Gem at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be our maiden voyage here with Joanne, and then we've got the two Canada, Sweden, Canada, USA, 1 a.m. here and 7 a.m. So this is our first all-nighter. Looking forward to it.
Oh,
yay!
Well, good that I feel like I've pulled in. Does this mean I'm kicked out?
I don't know. Well, I'm sure there's some things we need you. Yeah, I think we have jobs.
I'll make sure I still find a way. Those fourth end interviews, I'm there for you.
All right.
Have a good broadcast.
Have a great time, Joanne.
Thanks so much, guys. Watching your own.
Yep. Welcome to the team. Yeah, Cole, you mentioned it. Italy 4-0. They're making it look easy, defeating Czech Republic 10-2 yesterday. And that's a big thing. But, one thing I want to point out about what I like about Rachel and Johnny's game, the potential to give up a big end when you're playing mixed doubles is high. It happens. But Johnny and Rachel haven't given up the big end yet. And I think that's a great sign. Yes, they lost that first game, but the most they've given up at any point is a deuce, and they're just so strong defensively. Even when they get in trouble, they're able to make the big shot and get out of an end.
Yeah, well, they're so smart. That's why
Right.
they're not giving up the big end. And you see that sometimes where another team might hit, they'll say, no, we've got to come around here. And they are, they're just so solid at that. And then when in the first game against Great Britain, I think Johnny missed kind of 2 doubles super close, and now he's making those, and Rachel's making everything. So they've just found their game. Their communication is so strong. They are going to be yes, this field is so tough. Sweden's going to be tough against them, but the magic's happening now.
Yeah, they really do feel in control. I think that's how I feel as a viewer watching it. It just feels like they're in control of the game now, right from first rocks. And we've always talked about first rock placement of the end, and Rachel has been so dialed in on that first rock. We got a question call about the power play in mixed doubles. Want to explain that?
Oh, the power play is the fun part, and people hold it. It can either be used for defense or offense. And you often see people when they're down 1 and sort of the 6th end, it's usually used late in the game. Almost always used late in the game.
Right.
So they'll use it if they're down 1, hoping to score 3 in the 6th or something. In Canada's case right now, they hold their power play opportunity where you position the rocks over in the wings,
right,
in the 12-foot and a corner guard. And they're using it as a defensive tool so that Rachel, who has made the chip twice now on those power plays, that she's going to have an open shot to win the game in the 8th end. So it's a really interesting, I find mixed doubles just so intriguing anyhow. Right. I wish it would grow so much more than what it is in Canada. But it's so fast. It's so, what John Morris said to me the other day in the mix zone? He said, at the end of the game, you think so hard and move so fast that his mind is ready to just explode. And I think that's exactly the sound effects and what he did.
I think we can see it sometimes in John's face on the ice.
Yeah, the thinking, as soon as you take a shot off, because there's only 5 rocks, in an end that you throw, sometimes you'll even go, this is my 2nd rock. Like you almost forget where you're at in the game because it's the end of the end comes fast, and you got to be thinking and moving. And power play is a very cool thing. We've yet to see Canada. I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure. We have yet to see them use it as the offensive tool. It's always been a defensive strategy for them.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, Cole, I think the intention was at the beginning of all of it with the introduction of the power play was for it to be an offensive thing.
Yes.
But as the game evolved and the strategy evolved, teams were pivoting and using it late in the game as a defensive weapon.
How they figure it all out. And the other cool thing is just remembering in mixed doubles that you cannot blank an end.
Right.
If you blank, well, you can, but you would lose hammer for the next end. I love that rule, and
which one that they happen in the 4-person game. Just going to throw that out there.
Absolutely. I'm doing this show without coffee right now. I haven't had coffee. Pretty sure I still have sleep in my eyes. But
you're a pro. You're a pro. And listen, we're working it all out. We're getting ready, and we're getting ready for a celebration because tomorrow is curling day in Canada. Oh. Paul, you remember when we celebrated this 1 year ago? So we're getting on to a year anniversary for that curling show and curling day in Canada. So curling fans across Canada and around the world, send us your pictures and videos of rinks and how you're celebrating celebrating this great game that we all love, and we'll get it on the show tomorrow.
I saw an especially cool shot of somebody with their ice fishing cabin. I can't imagine on a lake, obviously, because that's where you ice fish.
Right.
And they had a curling rink beside it. I'm like, oh my, that is Canada.
Living the dream. That is Canada, of course.
Well, I like curling and I don't mind fishing, but I don't like them outside in the winter with wind. I like curling in a controlled environment.
We're getting some great questions, and we always love when fans ask us great questions. We're just awaiting Rachel Homan's husband, Sean, who's getting wired for sound, and we're going to go to him and see how he's handling playing dad and keeping things on the lockdown at the house. But Call, this is a good question about what does it mean when a player is trying to freeze the rock?
Oh, freeze is a really hard shot. As a matter of fact, John made a pistol in the game yesterday where it was, he had to freeze. It was a really good example of what I'm speaking about, how some teams might have hit or tried to hit or try a run back in this situation.
Yep.
Not Canada. They came around and froze to a rock where you nail it. The one rock is here and you put it right exactly like that on top of it. You try not to move it here. How are my hands doing for rocks? A perfect freeze is lined up like that so they can't get it. As soon as it moves to here, you could blast it. And so it's just like, oh, close try on the freeze. But so line and weight have to be so perfect. And Johnny was freezing to one above the tee line.
That's right.
Which is especially delicate because your weight has to be absolutely, well, it has to be perfect all the time. So line and weight have to be perfect. You freeze it on so that or you'll often hear the expression weld it on so that the other team can't blast it out.
Probably the most precise shot in curling that there is, and it's amplified in mixed doubles because this is a game that is all about angles, and we talk about curling being the ultimate game of chess on ice, and you really got to be careful with positioning those stones because, Call, you can think you have an end completely set up or at least not in danger. You get one wrong angle and it can be game over.
And that's especially true that you see it in mixed doubles. And right away in mixed doubles, how it's so vastly different than the four-person game is it's hard from the opening rock. Right. So often you can see an open end still, even with 5 rock rule in curling. You can, the lead, the leads are all great now. They're all curling 93, 94, 97%.
Right.
It's like they are dialed in. But I would like to see them all try making those stats as a lead in mixed doubles because your shot from the get-go is that freeze.
Yep.
Right? It's so hard.
I'm getting word that Sean is ready to go. So we want to bring him into the show. And Sean, I think you're muted, so we'll get you to unmute your mic. And now we're ready to go.
So
good to see you. You've literally got your hands full. How are you doing on the home front?
Things are pretty good. We're pretty fortunate that we have a ton of help. My mom's been here for the last month or so, and we had Rachel's parents come in previous months and stuff like that while she was training, getting ready for everything. So really fortunate that we have all the help, but just kind of taking it in stride day by day, and things have been going well.
Yeah. Tell us about that beautiful baby girl.
So this is Bowyn. She's just turned 10 months, and she's a little firecracker. She actually started to take her first steps kind of right around when Rachel left. So that's kind of unfortunate, but we've been able to send her lots of videos and stuff like that. So yeah, no, she's healthy and full of energy. So
and she's already curled in her first Scotties too. So
yeah. She's got a runner up, so she'll be looking to change that. But she does have a Grand Slam under her belt, so well, not quite, but she was there. I guess she got to sit in the cup,
I see she was more in the Scotties, and she also has Rachel's eyes. I noticed that.
Yeah. Actually, Ryatt had the same eyes too, and his are going a little bit green, but hopefully hers stay blue.
Yeah.
We saw Ryatt rocking out. You posted that video. You guys look like you're having some fun, having a house party.
Yeah, he's he's a whole different animal, really. He's 2.5 now, and he's into all kinds of things. He loves being outside, and unfortunate a little bit that he's been maybe not being able to interact with kids as much as normal kids do, just because of the pandemic and stuff. But he is going a day home, and actually pretty cute. The other day they had a jersey day for the Olympics, and they had a little opening ceremony. So I sent him to school in one of Mom's jerseys. It was a little big, but
Bet he was the only kid doing that, eh? The other kids would be coming in with T-shirts and things like that. He struts in with a Team Canada Rachel Holman shirt. Pretty cool.
Looked like the signal dropped out there for a second. We'll reconnect with Shawn in a second, but that
would be hard, having been a mom. Well, I guess I'm a mom. It's like being a mom is like being an Olympian. You're it for life, right? But competing when the kids were young and missing anything, it broke your heart. It was just like, I should be there right now. I think the kids get a lot of inspiration, because if they see, their mother doing it, they kind of go, okay, anything's doable if she did it. But it's also traveling on the road and missing those moments is especially hard. And as my husband would always say to me, he would say, you stop parenting from afar. Stop, I've got this handled. And finally had to go, oh, Scott, yeah, I guess you do. Hey, Sean's back on. Sean,
sorry,
when are we going to bring
Rachel literally just called me, so I don't know what happened. And so I tried to just hang up on the call, but I guess I got kicked off the show too. So sorry about that.
No.
Did you talk to her?
No, he's
with us now.
Yeah, I told her that I was doing this, so she'll understand.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. How nerve-wracking is it for you watching?
You know what? Honestly, after going into the first game, I was a basket case, and I think it's just like anything. It's like I come from a hockey background, so it's like get your first shift out of the way, and then everything will be good. So I think that's kind of what it was after that first game, and I felt like they played okay in the first game, but I knew they'd be better, and I feel like they've kind of just built from there. So I know they were playing a real tough opponent that had played already on that ice. So I kind of figured, I was optimistic, but at the same time, I wasn't too worried about the loss.
Shawn, I know you're seeing it. A lot of talk about Rachel and Johnny and the way they talk, and Rachel with that tone. John, stop sweeping. Tell us about watching these two and just the way they communicate and the friendship they have.
Yeah, you know what? I actually got quite a few messages on that after the stop sweeping. But honestly, for me, it's like I think a lot of times people have like a kind of a cookie cutter picture of what a team should look like in the team dynamic, and I think that good teams are made of all different shapes and sizes, right? So that's what's worked for them. They've known each other a long time, and I can guarantee you they both respect each other's abilities. And of course, they respect each other as friends too, but they respect each other's ability a lot. So, I mean, and the thing is too, is you watch something like that happen, and instantly after that shot was over, it was parked, right? It was like on to the next shot. So yeah, I think it's funny, and I think they've done that for a long time, so that doesn't worry me at all.
Well said. How hard is it for you not being there?
Yeah, it's difficult. You know what? I think it would be more difficult if all the games weren't on TV. Sometimes at a Scotties, there's only showing one draw, right? So, but for this event, I know all their games will be streamed or on TV, and so it's difficult not being there. I know I have a job to do here though, and I got my hands full keeping me busy. But like I said, it's just nice to be able to watch all the games.
Yeah. Oh, what a nice shot this is. And we don't just have it covered for you here at the Olympics. I think there's a total of 33 cameras covering their every move, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? To be honest with you, like even at the last Olympics, we didn't get to see them barely at all, right? So it was a phenomenal experience, but it's just as fun here. And like I say, I'm happy to take care of the kids while she's chasing her dreams. So.
Last quick question before we let you go, Sean, because you probably want to talk to Rachel. How much are you actually able to communicate with her? And have you guys ironed out a bit of a routine where you get to touch base?
Yeah, you know what? I kind of leave that up to her. I know, when you get to something like this, you have to be a little bit selfish, right? You have to kind of take care of what you need to. So I kind of leave that up to her. When she wants to talk, I'm here, and she knows that. And I do my best to send pictures and video. I know it's not enough for her. She wants pictures and video all the time, but it's tough, right, to get the kids to even take a good picture. So, it's been pretty good though. Like in the morning or at night or after a game, we get to chat for a few minutes. But for the most part, I just kind of let her prepare as much as she needs to.
Wow, you sound like a perfect husband. That's great. Because that's so important. But I think your hockey background probably it makes you have to be a little bit selfish, as you said. When are we going to break it to Devin, Sean?
I think he might already know, but I mean,
he's not on Twitter. He'd never know. Devin. Sean and I are now mixed doubles team. Okay, and he's throwing first and last.
Well, Perdita and I are a team, so I look forward to that competition.
You drop me like a hot potato. I mean, that's how fast that's how fast he moves.
Well, you can't drop a multiple national champion and not expect her to get an offer sheet the next hour. So
exactly. I was already hunting. Listen, so what are you expecting today? As a hockey player, you must have superstitions when you're watching.
You know what? I don't. I never really believed in that. I think deep down maybe I do, but you know what? Since I met Rachel and her dad I think we became superstitious together. Like, oh, okay, we're gonna go sit over here. So maybe a little bit, but no, it's a big day for them. Obviously, they're playing two really good teams. I think it's a big swing day for them. So I expect two really good matches, and I think if they just kind of keep doing what they're doing and controlling what they can control, I think they'll be in good shape. The one thing I've noticed other than I feel Rachel's pretty locked in right now, very locked in, but I think that they're really even keel. Like the ups aren't too up and the downs aren't too down. So I think that's a really good sign.
Wow. You'd also be a great coach. Okay, so that's fabulous.
Awesome.
All right, listen, keep those kids fed and watered. That's what I used to say to my husband.
That's the easy part. That's the easy part.
Sean, awesome to make time. We'll probably touch base with you again as this thing goes along, but really, really great to see you and enjoy the games today.
Sure. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh, so happy to have you on. You gave such an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Sort of what goes on the home front.
No kidding.
And some wisdom about the fact that she's dialed in. They don't get too up. They don't get too down. And today's swing day. I like that too. Moving day.
Today's moving day, no doubt. We're winding down. We're getting ready. We've been having to end the show a little earlier, Call, but of course, Canada has the morning off in Beijing, which means you didn't get to sleep in. But
I kind of did. But
a little
I'm
bit.
Here.
You're here. Let's go in the house and talk to a big-time curling fan. I know she's really excited about this. And Stacey, look at you in that red, that curling.
Oh, nice. That curling show.
I think you're muted.
Oh, hang on, you're muted. Look at your thing. That's all right. Take your time.
Sorry about that. You think being online all these years that I would know to unmute, but I had to.
None of us do. Welcome.
It came in at the perfect time. It came in on Wednesday.
Perfect.
Oh, nice. And it looks so good.
And you've got the Scotties. You've got the Scotties on in the background. This must just be a curling fan's dream right now, Stacey.
Yes, and I may not have whiteboards, but I have papers here tracking all the scores, the schedule.
Yeah, you need it in front of you, don't you?
Yeah, it's on my phone too because I have it on Google Docs, but I needed it tonight because of all like the playoffs happening and all that fun stuff with the Scotties.
What are you liking about the Olympics?
I'm not liking the times, especially with a full-time job, but just the competition out there.
Yeah.
The competition in the last 4 years has blown me away.
Yeah, it is great how everybody's improved. And you're right about that time difference. What's this a picture of?
So 4 years ago, we curled in an Olympic-themed bonspiel, and just like Rachel and John, we lost our first game, but we came back to win we won the C division.
All right.
Nice. All right. Congratulations. What club do you play out of?
I've curled out of 3 of them. We recently, the Deer Trail Curling Club here in Elliott Lake, unfortunately, they had to close their doors this year. Oh. But I've curled out of the Caperell Curling Club, which is just outside of Sudbury, and the Hornpain Curling Club up north.
Wow. Back when I used to work on the morning show, we did a full show out of Elliott Lake, and I went ice fishing. And it's a beautiful community, isn't it, with that Elliott Lake?
It's absolutely beautiful up here. Great fishing. It's going to get cold tonight. They're calling for about minus 36, minus 37. So a true northern weather, but got to stay warm in the house.
And that means,
yes, really, don't go out tonight.
And that means you can hunker in and watch, of course, the mixed doubles game, Canada versus Sweden at 1 a.m. and then Canada versus USA at 7 a.m. Stacey, what do you like about what you're seeing from Rachel and Johnny? And do you think they can run this thing right to the gold medal?
Yeah. I could. The first game, I was a little bit hesitant, but now that they got their communication down and they're playing more as a team now and not just one-on-one, which is nice to see. But with the cancellation of the mixed doubles trials, they never had that opportunity to work out their communication before the actual Olympics.
Good point. Well, listen, enjoy wherever you're watching from. And I know the time difference is hard, but you gotta, these are the Olympics.
And one thing,
24/7.
Devin, have you been having your coffee in the bowls? And is your plants watered because of that dream that I had?
I know.
And call.
Yeah.
And last year, I had made a comment that I used to want to go to a school that their curling team actually wore kilts just to follow in your footsteps. The one I used to watch you in the Scotties.
Nice. Oh, I love the kilts.
Yeah, that's outstanding, Stacey. Yes, I've got my That Curling Show mug, which people can buy. They can buy That Curling Show hoodie as you have purchased, and there it is, all the information. Shop now. But yes, I am fully caffeinated, Stacey. Thank you. And my plants are watered as well because I'm here.
Perfect.
So everything is good. Buckle up, Stacey, and enjoy the curling.
Thank you for having me, guys. Have a good day, Colleen, and have a good night, Devin.
Thank you, Stacey. Awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Call, we're winding down here. You're going to be heading over to the Ice Cube sooner than later. And
I guess I am. Thank you for waking me up this morning, Devin. Yeah.
Hey, if I can't be there to knock on your door, I'm going to do everything.
Right.
I don't know, Call, you wouldn't have seen this, but they are circulating the hashtag Devin's Divas because they are purchasing scarves and toques and
nice.
Devin's Divas is becoming.
Devin, and is that a hashtag?
That is a hashtag.
Hashtag. Okay, got it. Awesome. Well,
so that is happening.
Well, so let's just wrap up what's happening today. It's Sweden Sweden and the USA today. So that's a big day. USA, by the way, is sort of making a move after a bit of a slow start. Maybe their communication's working too.
They defeated Sweden. That was a huge win for them in an extra.
Well, yeah, and the Swedish skip, I'm dropping her name right now, but she missed again an open hit. Both of their losses for Sweden have been on wide open misses from the Swedish skip. So
well, and this
a little bit of
and this game, call, you talk about a swing day. This is a game where Sweden, we expected them to be at the top at 2 losses. If Canada could move them to 3 losses, that's big time as far as I'm concerned, because I think you and I both expected them to be sort of at the top of the standings. If they drop to a 3rd loss, that's something.
They should be perfect right now. They should be undefeated, but wide open misses have definitely in the 8th end have cost Sweden the being perfect. So that's why they're at 2 losses.
So another compelling day ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everybody's going to be ready to go. Hopefully they're well rested and ready for the 1 a.m. time. And then, well, literally, we're going to be going right into curling day in Canada. And one last thing, I do want to give a shout out and a happy birthday to Mark Kennedy over in Beijing. February 5th is Mark Kennedy's birthday call. So when you see him.
Okay, thank you. I'll make sure I mention that. Now, did that happen yesterday or is that today?
That's today for you, and we'll celebrate it at midnight tonight here.
Okay, got it. Awesome. Well, listen, we'll do this all again tomorrow. Thanks for everybody for joining us, and send in your comments, and most importantly, wear your curling outdoors for our curling day in Canada. And producer Soph, as always, awesome.
Awesome. That's a wrap. Enjoy the curling. 2 more big games for Canada. We'll talk about it 7 p.m. tomorrow night. That's a wrap. That curling show.